I am a United States Coast Guard licensed 200-ton captain. This boat's less than 2 tons. You're in pretty good hands, okay? Now, very important, before we leave the dock, I have to give you a safety briefing, just like they do on the airplanes. So just like the airplanes, we're going to start with the emergency exits.
Alright, y'all can hear me down there, make some noise. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. Well, welcome to the beautiful Florida Everglades, at Everglades Holiday Park. Now, the first thing I want to point out to you guys is going to be these 2 buildings directly in front of us. Now, this is one of the many pump out stations throughout the state of Florida that controls the water levels inland from the Everglades. Now, these are absolutely vital. 1 out of every 4 Florida homes gets its water from the Everglades. Now, this particular pump out station is responsible for water management districts 3A and B. Now, 3A and B cover a little over 500 square miles, a little bit north of here, down through Pembroke Pines, all the way through Miami and into the upper Florida Keys. Now, the building on the right-hand side takes the water from the Everglades and allows it to pass through the man-made canal system. It travels all the way from here pretty much to the beach, about 3 miles shy of the beach. And I'm going to show you, hopefully, show you not only how they survived out here, but how they actually thrived out here. Now, the biggest misconception about the Everglades is that it's a swamp. This is not a swamp, folks. This is a freshwater river. Just like any other river, it's constantly moving. It just doesn't move very fast. It only moves about a ½ mile per day. Now, the prevalent Indian tribe in this area was the Seminole tribe. And in the Seminole language, they called this area Paheoke. And Paheoke translates into the river of grass, or grassy waters. And that's exactly what this is. All this water starts off in southern Georgia, no other part of Florida. Rolls through rivers, creeks, streams, makes its way through Tallahassee and Gainesville, moves over into an area called Ocala, where it goes into these underground limestone caverns and caves, and it's filtered out. From there, it pops back up into the groundwater, merges into little creeks and then streams, and eventually turns into a river called the Kissimmee River, which flows from north to south throughout the state of Florida, rolls all the way down into Lake Okeechobee. Now, from Lake Okeechobee, our Army Corps of Engineers dug out 2 trenches, both to the east and west coast, to stop flooding throughout the middle of the state. But this water's natural course is to continue its roll south, through the orange groves, through the sugarcane fields, down through these grasses where it's filtered out one more time on its eventual path, all the way through this area, past Miami, and into the upper Florida Keys. Now, the boat that you're riding on today is called the Swamp Thing. 3, 2, 1! around looking for something dead to feed on. The way you can differentiate the two is to look at the undersides of their wings. The underside on the turkey vulture is mostly gray, whereas the American vulture just has gray on its wing tips. Now, as I spin a boat around in here, guys, look over the sides. A lot of people tend to think that this water looks very dirty because of its dark color. It's not dirty at all. What you're seeing is a reflection from the mud that makes up the bottom. All that mud is created from these grasses decaying over time, and that's what creates this tannin or tea-like color. Now, if you were to get out of the boat and try and stand up right here, first thing you notice is that you sink down 2 feet into that layer of mud. And after that first 2 feet of mud, you're going to hit a hard rock bottom. Now, that hard rock bottom is calcium carbonate left over from millions and millions of years ago when all of Florida was covered by the ocean, and this was actually a coral reef. Now, we've got 360 different species of fish, 370 different species of birds, and over 1,030 different seeding trees, plants, and grasses that make up the Everglades. Don't forget to look over the sides, in the water and up in the air. Now, this bright green bushy tree over here on our left-hand side, this is not one of our native trees. If you look very carefully, you're going to see what looks like tiny little green berries on it. Those aren't berries at all, those are the peppercorns. Now, this is a very young alligator. When they're born, they're around 8 inches long, and they grow 1 foot per year until they reach maturity of 6 feet long. Then they continuously grow after that. He went right underneath that Brazilian pepper tree, guys. You guys on the right hand side. And he's a little shy, just a baby, about 3.5, maybe 4 years old.
There he is, right there.
That white bird that just flew in front of us, that's called the ibis. Swim us, and with one kick of his tail, he can jump 6 feet straight up out of the water. So if that makes you nervous because you're sitting on the edges, don't be. They usually land right in the middle of the boat. Now they have 80 teeth in their mouth, 40 on the top, 40 on the bottom. 3 sets of eyelids. One that permanently covers their eye. One that they can blink much like us, but it's clear. It's kind of creepy looking. Looks like an alien movie. And then they have a guys, I'm not going to bore you to death with everything I know about alligators, but they're not a man-eater. Turtle right there on the left. dragonflies in this area. Dragonflies are our friends, folks. They don't bite. They eat mosquitoes. In case nobody's noticed, you haven't been bitten by a mosquito yet. A lot of people don't.
Hi, Zilla, watch out. Alright, so I'm going to use Boris for the show. Boris is about 160 pounds. And I'm covered in sunscreen, so this is not helping. Alright, now he is really excited to do a show for you today.
No.
My hands are so slippery. Yeah, as good as it's gonna get. Good boy. Alright, so alligator wrestling. It's based off of techniques that the Seminoles used back in the day when they would go out and capture alligators. Now, in the 1800s, if you're a Seminole warrior, you're going out and you're catching alligators to feed your family. Alligator meat spoils very quickly in the hot Florida sun. There's no such thing as a refrigerator, so you want to catch the alligator and bring it back to your house alive. I go, I'm on his back, I have him by the jaws, and I'm by myself. I have nobody else to help me. So I need to come up with a way to hold his jaws shut, freeing up both of my hands, allowing me to use my hands to take out a rope and tie the jaws together. So what they came up with is now we refer to as bulldogging. It's holding the jaws shut by putting them in between your chin and your chest. Yeah, sounds like a great idea, right? What could possibly go wrong? If you guys want a picture, wait until both my arms go out to the side. Or if you see a spray of blood, just search from photo to video. Here we go. Take your pictures quickly. Take out a rope, couple of breaths, clean out. And then you have yourself a caught and tied alligator. Okay. Ah, thanks for the one clap. I appreciate it. All right. We're going to step up in a few seconds, guys. Now, if you're familiar with alligators at all, you're going to notice a very obvious difference between wild alligators and the alligators in here, right? So most of these animals have been in here long enough where they've come to realize that I'm not a threat. They're just used to me. Now, when we first catch them from the wild and they first come here, completely different animal. They're extremely dangerous. He's fighting for his life. So he wants to kill me because he thinks I'm going to kill him. As soon as they realize I'm not going to eat them, I'm not hurting them, I'm not a threat to him, it's not worth it for him to waste his energy trying to attack me out of self-defense. It's just not worth the effort. Now, just because he's not actively trying to bite me right now, do you think that the alligator loves me and that we're buddies? No. Absolutely not. Yeah, it's an alligator, not a Labrador, okay? They do not love me, they tolerate me, there is no friendship or bond. If I trip and I fall, if I make a mistake, if I hurt the alligator, every single one of these animals absolutely will bite. This alligator has bitten people before. And in fact, that alligator, the big 9-footer right there, he actually bit my boss in the head. Yeah, that's not a joke. Literally bit him in the head during one of these shows. That right there is my favorite alligator. Really good boy. Really good boy. Take a look in the back of the throat. Hold on one second. There we go. If you take a look in the back of his throat, it appears that he has little to no throat opening. So that is called a glottis. That's an oversized valve. It seals off the back of the alligator's throat, allowing them to capture and drown their prey without drowning themselves. Gator this size, by the way, has about 2,000 pounds of crushing power per square inch. Alright, just checking. You guys having a good time? Yeah, awesome. I can't tell. Half you look horrified. We have one final trick for you guys today. This one is called the face-off. And that's because if you mess it up or it goes horribly, horribly wrong, your face comes off. Now, before I go ahead and do this trick and risk my face being ripped off for your entertainment, let me just tell you, as an alligator wrestler here, we really are volunteers. We are not employees of the park due to liability. So if you guys had a good time, if you learned something, I greatly appreciate anything that goes in the tip jar right down there. That's my life insurance policy. That also helps us run the rescue and does allow me to go out and continue saving more of these beautiful and extremely ungrateful alligators just like Boris. Hey, you appreciate that, right? So I'm going to open up, no he does not. I'm going to open up the alligator's mouth and place my chin on the top of the open jaw. Now if anything falls inside the mouth, a drop of sweat, a grain of sand, that's all it takes. Jaws immediately slam shut. Sometimes people clap. Thank you, Boris. I'm going to let him go. Let's get it for Boris, guys. You did a great job. Thank you, buddy. And as you can see, no hurt feelings, no animosity. It's going to pop down and do its own thing. And that does conclude the show, guys. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me. I will be right down there. When you guys head out right over here to the right. Go directly behind you. That's where you get your baby alligator photo. Thank you guys so much for coming today and supporting our alligator rescue. This would not be possible without you guys. Take care. Have a great day.